Welcome, electronic video guests, to the outer limits of the trading card hobby TTM. Through the mail, we seek to have the famous and the infamous sign the trading cards and photographs we send to them through the mail. Today we have 8 such specimens to examine. 8 trading card autograph request return specimens to examine. And on this fine Sunday morning coming down, we will examine these returns in minute detail. So if you like seeing envelopes being cut open, you've come to the right place. Sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy the fun. Presented to you from the worldwide YouTube video airfill. TTM Sunday coming down. That is a fantastic way to spend a Sunday. Hopefully you just got back from church and now there's nothing more you want to do than look at some autograph request returns before you got to get back tomorrow and start the everyday grind of your so-called real life again. TTM Sunday morning coming down. This is going to be fun with 8 returns. Before we cut open our first return, let me show you a couple of things. Yesterday I spent my Saturday over at the Detroit Oddities and Curiosities Expo. At the Suburban Showplace Collection. They had a nice set of weird stuff with a lot of human oddballs also walking around. The people watching was almost as good as the stuff they had on display there. I picked up a couple little things. Let me show you the first thing I got. Look at that beauty, would you? You can never have too much art in your life. I saw this and I said, you know what? I bet I can find somewhere in my house to hang this up. That is her real beauty. So I picked that up at the Detroit Oddities Expo. And then one old guy had a bunch of all odds and ends. He was selling, actually, I was surprised, he was selling some old vintage non-sports trading cards. So I picked up some of this stuff. A sealed pack from 1984, a Nightmare on Elm Street stickers. You don't see these too often. This is from 1984. A sealed pack, Nightmare on Elm Street. Picked up one of those. This is from 1989, the Batman movie, the Michael Keaton version, 1989 tops. Batman card, still sealed. I can feel the gum in there. And this is, I believe, from 1994 or I think 1994. Pack of Power Rangers cards. Look at that. It's also got 1 power foil card per pack. Beautiful. And it's got an amazing answer board display. Check that out. Power Rangers cards. And the last pack I picked up, a 1991 World Championship Wrestling Trading Cards pack. Look at that. So we had a nice little day. Spent about 3 hours at the expo. Like I said, looking at the human oddballs was almost as much fun as the oddities and curiosities. So that was a nice way to spend a Saturday. But now let's kick off our TTM Sunday. TTM number 1. Where's that coming to us? From the great Phony X, Arizona. It is sweltering hot out in the desert from what I understand. Temperatures near record levels. Death Valley maybe getting up to 130 degrees. Phoenix around 120. It might be too much for some people. You might see some people passing away from extreme heat. Phony X Desert, sweltering hot. What do we got? Looks like we got our note back. Let's see if there's a card in there. Yes, there is. Who did this come from? Mr. Duffy Dyer. Look at that. That is a sweet 1974 Topps card. Beautifully autographed by Mr. Duffy Dyer. Check that out. Duffy now 77 years old. Of course, he was a member of the 1965 Arizona State team that won the College World Series. He had a couple pretty good teammates on that squad, Sal Bando and Rick Monday. Then he was a backup catcher to Jerry Grody on the 1969 World Champion Miracle Mets, Amazing Mets. For Duffy's 14-year career, he hit .221 with 30 home runs. His best year was 1972 with the Mets. He hit .231 with 8 home runs and 36 RBIs. Old Duffy Dyer, look at that. Can you believe it? Look at this sweet old Topps card from Duffy. Look at that. Duffy helped Arizona State to the 65 College World Series title. There it is right there, just like I told you. Duffy Dyer. All right, let's see if he answered any questions on this note. Well, these are some very brief answers, right to the point. Duffy also played briefly with the Tigers. I remember that, so I asked him, did you enjoy your time with the Tigers? Yes. Did you think Sparky Anderson was a good manager? He said yes. All right, so we got a yes there and a yes there. 2 brief answers. Thank you, Mr. Dyer, for taking the time to write those 6 letters on that note and for signing that beautiful Topps card. TTM number 1 on a Sunday morning coming down. Mr. Duffy Dyer, thank you, sir. All right, what we got next? TTM number 2. This is coming to us from San Francisco, California. What a crazy town that is. Unbelievable. San Francisco. You never know what you're going to see. Talk about oddities and curiosities. That's San Francisco for sure. Let's see what we got back from that oddball city. Oh, looks like we got a custom. Oh, they signed the back of our custom art card. Check that out. It looks like, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but it looks like originally it was signed with a ballpoint pen, and then it kind of went over the top of it with a Sharpie. It's odd. It looks like it's like on the ballpoint pen it says to Jeff, cheers, and then it's more like an autograph, like an actual signature, Daria, where here it's more like a printed Daria. The whole thing, it looks like it was, they used cursive and with the ballpoint, and then they just printed in the Sharpie, but let's show you who this is. You want to get on with it. Turn it over. Who is it? This is Miss Daria Halprin. Unbelievable. Here you see her in her what she's most famous for. She was a 1960s and early 70s counterculture icon. Here she was from the star of Michelangelo Antonioni's famous Zabriskie Point film. What is she now? She's got to be up there probably in her 80s. She started her career as a dancer. Then the great Italian director Michelangelo Antonioni picked her to star in this crazy mess of a movie. I don't know if you've ever seen this one. Antonioni made some great films. This was not one of them, although it's great from the perspective if you like to see a weird mess of stunning art shots and fantastic cinematography. But as far as an actual movie with a story and all that, it is a mess. It's about some American revolutionaries and terrorists in the late 60s. Zabriskie Point. He picked Daria Halprin She's not a professional actress, a dancer to star in this movie. And she did some wild, wild sex scenes out there in the desert at Zabriskie Point. You can see that in the background there. Miss Halpern and this young man has some crazy sex scenes out there in the desert. But with lifelong hippie Daria Halpern, I thank you for signing this custom art card, tracing over it and all that. Very, very nice. She's still somewhat of a, I guess, counterculture figure. She started her own, runs her own, what she calls a creative arts therapy institute out there in California. So, Miss Daria Halpern, 1960s counterculture icon, dancer and star of the crazy mess Zabriskie Point. Thank you for I guess tracing and signing the back of our custom art card. Thank you, Miss Daria Halpern. That is a nice return to have. Really appreciate it. Daria Halpern. A great, great old hippie. All right. Let's get on to our next TTM return. Let's see. This one's coming to us from Fort Myers, Florida. What in the world did we get from Fort Myers, Florida? Well, we got to cut it open, pull it out, take a look at it, see what it is. I can't see through the envelope. Got to actually open it and see. Oh, look at that. 1969 Topps card signed by old Cookie Rojas. He just got the Sharpie out and signed his name on it. He didn't have no trouble figuring out the instructions. Unlike the old hippie Daria Halpern, maybe she was still coming down from some mushrooms or something. Who knows? But Cookie Rojas said, "Yeah, just give me a pen. I'll sign this card. I can put it back in an envelope. No problem at all." Cookie Rojas, thank you, sir. He's now 84 years old. Long-time big league second baseman, played 16 years, mostly with the Phillies and Royals. He had his best years with the Royals in the 1970s. He made 4 straight All-Star teams, and he was the first non-U.S. born player to hit a home run for the American League in an All-Star game. Finished his career with a lifetime batting average of .263, 54 home runs. Best year was with the Royals in 1971. He hit 300. He had 6 home runs, 59 RBIs. Cookie Rojas. Look at that beautiful old 1969 Topps card. Sweet old card. Cookie Rojas. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. That is a nice one. All right, what do we got next? We can see this one's coming from San Jose, California. Coming to us from the old New Orleans Saint and what did he play? Cleveland Brown player, Washington Redskin, Mr. Walter Roberts. Thank you, sir. Beautiful. Let's just hope he signed the card. We got to open it up and see. We know it's coming from the old Brown, Redskin, and Saint. Mr. Walter Roberts. Let's see what we got. Oh, this is stuck in there. We got our note. I'll have to try to pull this out. That's stuck in there pretty good. Wow. That thing, is that stuck to the envelope? Well, we got it out. There is our card. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that beautiful signature from Mr. Walter Roberts. That is a 1968 Topps rookie card. Look at that sweet old card, would you? The pint-sized flanker. Beautiful. Walter Roberts, 81 years old, 1968 Topps rookie card. Fantastic. That's a beautiful signature. Looks great on that card. Fast little wide receiver and kick returner. His nickname was the Flea. Played his college ball at San Jose State. An undrafted free agent signed by the Cleveland Browns. He was their kick returner and backup receiver on their 1964 NFL championship team. He started for them in 1965, played 6 years in the NFL, 3 with Cleveland, 1 with New Orleans, and 2 with Washington. He caught 67 passes for 1,812 yards. He averaged 18.2 yards per catch with 9 touchdowns. He had 1 kickoff return for a touchdown, and it averaged 13.2 yards per punt return in that championship season with the Browns. Mr. Walter Roberts. Thank you, sir. Let's see if he answered any questions on the note. What did he do here? Well, it looks like he wrote a little note on the back of my note. In the note, I asked him about an 80-yard touchdown pass he caught from the old egghead Frank Ryan when he was with the Browns. Let me see what he says here. Jeff, yes, I do remember that catch in that game. The catch was against a good friend, Ricky Harris. Oh, that's interesting. I just sent out to Ricky Harris. His coach there in Washington was Vince Lombardi. I asked him about that. Vince Lombardi was my favorite coach. Thank you for remembering the game and catch. Yours truly, Walt Roberts. So that is a great old note. Hopefully we get our return from Ricky Harris. That'd be a nice combination. He burned his buddy for an 80-yard DD. Walt Roberts, thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. 81 years old. He took the time to sign that 1968 rookie card and answer some questions. Really appreciate it. Oh, Walt Roberts. All right, what do we got next? Let's keep going with this TTMs. Our next one is also coming to us from sweltering Phony X out in that desert. Hopefully whoever it is that sent this has got some AC that works out there. Otherwise, could be some trouble. Something coming to us from the great Phony X, Arizona. Let's cut that open and see what we got. What do we got here? This just feels like we got our note also in this one. Beautiful. I like it when they send the note back. Hopefully they answered the questions and signed the card. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Mr. Ken Rudolph. Look at that. He signed that very nicely. Filled up a lot of the card. A 1970 Topps card. Mr. Rudolph, now 76 years old. Backup catcher with 4 teams over a 9-year career. He had a feeble lifetime batting average of .213 with 6 home runs and 743 career at-bats. He never had a season with more than 2 home runs for 17 RBIs. His most interesting career note: he was the Cubs' second-round draft pick in 1965. 10 picks later, another catcher was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds by the name of Johnny Bench. The Cubs could have had Johnny Bench. They took Ken Rudolph. Look at that. Ken's dad formerly played pro ball. And Dad, may I use the car tonight? Okay. When you hit 217 for your career, you got to ask your dad if you can use the car. Or 213 for his career. Ken Rudolph, thank you, sir. I really appreciate you signing that 1970 Topps card. All right, let me see if he answered any questions on our note. Mr. Ken Rudolph. All right, what did he see? I asked him, I said, I asked Ken Rudolph, I said, any favorite teammates on those old Cubs teams? Jim Colburn, what is that? Oh, Rich Nye, we've had him. We've got some TTMs from Rich Nye. Jim Colburn were my closest friends. And I said, I think Leo DeRocher was your manager back then. I read somewhere a lot of the players didn't like him. What did you think of him? Leo gave the chance to play in the majors. For that, I was appreciative. He was difficult at times. All right. Very diplomatic answer from Ken Rudolph. Thank you, sir. He said, "Oh, Leo the Liberal was difficult at times, but he appreciated him giving him a chance to play in the big leagues." Beautiful 1970 Topps card signed by Mr. Ken Rudolph. Really appreciate that. Let's keep going on this TTM Sunday. North Texas, Dallas, Texas. What in the world do we got from North Texas, Dallas, Texas? Oh, check that out. Beautiful. Kyle Clifton, 1991 Fleer Ultra. Great old linebacker for the Jets. A human tackling machine. Third round pick in 1984 out of TCU. Played 13 years. 3 times he led the National Football League in solo tackles. Still the Jets' all-time leader in tackles. Kyle Clifton, 60 years old. Thank you, sir, for signing this 1991 Fleer Ultra card. That looks great, doesn't it? Beautiful picture there. Great signature on that card. Look at the back of that Fleer card. Very nice. Beautiful. Kyle Clifton. That is a sweet return. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Beautiful. Thank you very, very much. Really appreciate that. And we got another one from Phony X. Another one. Doesn't feel that hot. I guess it cooled off by the time it got out here. Let's see who we get. This feels a little bit thick. Oh boy, what? A little bit oversized. I hope that is not a price list. What do we got? We haven't put anybody in this Hall of Shame in a while. Let's see. Is this a price list? What in the world is this? Looks like a postcard. What is all this stuff? Well, what is all this stuff? Here's... I sent 2 to Robin Yount. As you can see, they are not signed. The great Hall of Fame shortstop, 67-year-old Robin Yount. He did not sign these cards. What do we got back here? Let's look at this first. It says, "I want to personally thank you for your interest in my career. Due to the magnitude of the signature requests I receive, I cannot keep up. Please accept my personalized Hall of Fame postcard as my appreciation for your support. Sincerely, Robin Yount." Is that a real signature? I don't think so. I think that's just stamped on there. But now we got this Hall of Fame card, which is kind of cool. I believe that might be a real autograph. What do you all think? See that? How the ink looks? You can tell it's kind of it's not a 100% all solid in there. It looks like it actually might have signed that. I don't know. It could be, I don't know, is that an auto pen or he actually signed that? What did he say on his note? Personalized Hall of Fame. I don't know if that could be just a stamp. I don't know. But it is kind of cool. At least he took the time to send my cards back and send out this, even if that's a auto pen. It's better than some of the stuff we received. I actually probably would keep that one. That's not bad. I don't know. If anybody knows anything about these, if those are real autographs, let me know. Put that down in the comment. But that's kind of a nice failure from Mr. Robin Yount, one of the all-time greats, no doubt about it. You guys remember Robin Yount. He made his major league debut at age 18. He barely played in the minors. He's the last 18-year-old to hit a home run in the big leagues. 20-year Hall of Famer. And at least he took the time to send a couple little inserts back. And who knows, that might be a real autograph. I don't know. But, hey, better than nothing. Thank you, Mr. Robin Yount. God bless you. We're down to our last TTM return on this Sunday morning coming down. This one is coming to us all the way from Fort Myers, Florida. Let's see what we got us from Fort Myers, Florida. Last TTM on a Sunday morning coming down. Oh, very, very nice. Mr. Kevin Gamble. on that 1991-92 Skybox card. Kevin, now 57 years old. He hit the game-winning shot for Iowa against Oklahoma in the Sweet 16 game of the 1987 NCAA tournament. That was one of Iowa's greatest teams. Then he almost hit another in the Elite Eight game against UNLV. Third pick in the 1987 draft by Portland. He played 10 years in the NBA, averaged 9.5 points per game. Best year was 1990-91 for the Boston Celtics. Averaged 15.6 points per game for the Celtics. Beautiful. Look at that. Kevin Gamble. Look at that nice picture on the back. Well, that is our TTM Sunday. We went through all 8 of them. We examined them in minute detail. Some very interesting returns. The old Hippy, Daria Halprin. Where's her card? Let's take a look at that. She was still coming off a mushroom buzz or something and tried to figure out what to do with this. Inked it up in a ballpoint and then just kind of printed over it. Daria Halprin. That's a nice return from her. Star of Zabriskie Point, a great dancer, and now runs a creative arts therapy studio. Some great returns on this Sunday morning coming down. That is it. God willing, we'll be back in a few days. We'll have some more TTMs. One of these days I got to get around to opening some cards up too, giving away some more cards. But until then, remember, head over to Amazon.com. Type in your author's name. That's your narrator there. This book title on the search bar at Amazon. This thing here will pop up. I'll tell you what. If you if you got that Monday coming up where you got to get back to the day grind of life and you're not really looking forward to it, and you thought, man, how did I get into this mess? Is this really what we call living? Well, you might like this kind of this book here. It's for people who kind of scrape by and live paycheck to paycheck. People who were thrown into this world without a clue. Tossed out of the blackness of the cosmic void into this crazy world where you're herded from birth into a so-called life that says it's all about going to school till you're 18 or 22 years old so you can get a good job and buy a bunch of crap you don't need but distracts you from enlarging your worldview. You ended up living like a robot just like they wanted you to, but from time to time you malfunctioned, you broke down, you did some things you shouldn't have done, you weren't proud of. Things might have happened to you that make you feel bitter or resentful or hopeless. But one lucky day that behind all that opened your eyes. He said, look, man, this is not the way to live. You've been sold a bill of goods. But now what do? How do you actually live an authentic life in this robotic system that we have? Well, if you're interested in that kind of thing, like I said, head over to Amazon, buy that book. But if you're easily offended or you're a crybaby, stay away. There might be some things in here that upset you just a little bit. But if you're a big boy, a big girl, or a big trainer, you just might like that book. So go over there and buy yourself a copy. All right, time to hit the stop button and dump yet another TTM video into the worldwide YouTube video airfill. Remember, we'll be back in a couple days with some more. Until then, enjoy the rest of your life.